Hello, this is Reginald, of course, also known as Brother Teacher, and I welcome you to another snippet. Initially, this video series was going to be very short, hence the word snippet, and just something for you to think about and then do the research on your own. Um, However, I don't know if this particular subject can be as shortened as what I would desire. Of course, it can be very long, but uh, because of the nature and the sensitivity of this particular subject, uh, I'm going to try to keep it brief, as I would a short video, but I can't guarantee that. But I'll do better, excuse me, in the future. Let me begin by saying this. First of all, my name is Reginald Stroud. I am a human being. I am what some people might uh, say is an African American. I don't particularly subscribe to that. A black person. I don't particularly subscribe to that because black is not a race, and I'm not directly from Africa. I'm from the United States. So I just wanted to throw that part out there. And I'm an ordained deacon and minister for over 30 years. I'm a veteran of the United States Army. I have worked in nursing. I'm not a registered nurse, nor am I a licensed nurse, but I have worked in nursing for over 10 years. I'm a father. I am a grandfather. I am a husband, a great grandfather. I am a martial arts instructor with training over 44 years. I am a retail store owner. I am an online internet business owner and entrepreneur. I am a singer, songwriter, poet, and the list does go on a little bit. Just wanted to break the ice, so to speak, and give you just a little information about myself. But above all of the things that I just mentioned to you, I am a human being, a man just like any man or woman out there in this particular audience. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. And I would implore you, if this information that I'm about to disseminate to you, which is hopefully brief, I would love for you to go and do your due diligence and research it on your own. One of the most rare arts nowadays is people reading and studying and researching. Ever since the advent of the internet, smartphones, the microwaves, the smart TV or the flat screen TVs and electronics of modern day, people have become lazy and dumbed down. And we don't want to do too much for ourselves anymore. We'd rather a machine do it for us or someone else do it for us. So with that said, I'm going to attempt to disclose this general information to you. But I'm going to say to you ahead of time as well, it is not my intention to incite anger. It is not my intention to make you upset or angry with me, the person. It is my intention to disseminate information that is true in nature, albeit there are people who have opinions, and then there are people who speak lies, and there are people who speak the truth. What would you like to hear? An opinion that could be biased, a lie that could infuriate you, or the truth that could possibly infuriate you as well because it cuts against the grain of what you've been taught or led to believe. Anyway, my subject is cancer. The disease cancer, that is the general description. Of course, we all know that there are all types of cancer: prostate, ovarian, lung, liver, brain, cell, bone, and the list goes on. Cancer is perhaps one of the most profitable diseases. Yes, I did say profitable. Cancer has become a business. Yes, it has. I mean, you think about it. Research, chemotherapy, radiation, medication, hospitals making money from you and your insurance company, doctors making money from you and the insurance companies even making money from the disease, cancer. Let me also say that I have had several family members in my lifetime die from cancer. Blood relatives, I'm saying. I have had close friends die from cancer. And then you can't open a newspaper or magazine or watch something on the internet and see where someone is not affected directly or indirectly by cancer. The families of cancer victims. But my question to you today, and I want to bring you to task, if you would, do some research on your own after you watch this video. Don't take my word for it. I would love you to believe what I'm saying. You know, there's a lot of snake oil salesmen, if you will. I'm not asking you for any money. I'm not asking you to like this video. I'm not asking you to give me a thumbs up or to give me a big to-do in terms of accolades, unless that's really what you believe after you see this video. But I am asking you to prove me wrong. You're not going to always find the answer instantaneously. So it might take some time. It could take you a few hours of just navigating the internet, Googling, YouTubing, reading some literature, some magazines, some manuscripts on the subject matter. But don't forget, you're going to have people out there who are going to be adverse as well as those telling you the truth. So you're going to have people who are going to tell you the truth, and then you're going to have people who are going to try to debunk that truth. So the ball is left in your court. You're the person in the middle who has to make the decision. Does the truth weigh stronger, or does the rebuttals weigh strongest? Now let me ask you this. We live, most of us, inside of a city. We drink municipal water. We have sewage. We have concrete streets and sidewalks around us. We have industries even around us, you know, metal plants, chemical plants, car manufacturers, and so forth. So living in a city is, can be considered city life. Many years ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, people were living more rural and on farms and raising their own crops, raising their own animals, feeding them with less pesticides and chemicals and hormones to help them grow, to send them to market, so forth. But the times have changed. It's all about a dollar bill. So, what I'm getting at as far as being in the city, most of us live inside of a home, enclosed four walls, roof, doors, windows. Yet, in startling numbers, I don't know what the statistics are right now because there's too much information and too much digging deep inside of all of the particulars. But we know for a fact that people are dying of cancer every day in America and the world, for that matter, every year, every month of cancer, cancer wards. But isn't it strange to you? Or do you consider it strange that we have animals that live out in the wild? Lions, elephants, wolves, fox, rabbits, deer, bears, tigers, fish, sharks, giraffes, eagles, hawks, penguins, seals, whales, and the list goes on. They are exposed to nature. They are nature, but they are exposed directly to nature. They live in the water, in and out of the water, the river systems, the lake systems, and on land. They sleep on the ground. They use the bathroom outside in the wilderness. They eat one another. The predators and the carnivores eat vegetation, where the carnivores eat the ones that eat the vegetation, but the vegetation ones are the herbivores we know. And then you have omnivores, those that eat meat and vegetation. That's what I'm getting at. But the real point that I'm getting at is this. If they live outside all or most of their lives, why don't they have cancer? Why don't the animals in nature have high blood pressure, diabetes, lung disease, arthritis, gout, liver disease, thyroid disease, kidney disease? But the most intelligent creature on this planet, man, who lives inside of a home with walls, with the comfort of utilities, water running, supposedly clean, and electricity and heat, air conditioning, and a roof over our head, and we wear clothing, and we can go and acquire our food that we don't grow ourselves. Of course, we can go to a grocery store and acquire our food that's prepared for us. We are the ones who have startling records of cancer. But the animals that live outside of the door in nature have nothing. Doesn't that make you wonder? It is so simple and so basic of an understanding. Why do the animals in nature not have cancer? And the other diseases that I just mentioned, and many more that I did not. But we do. I'll tell you why. Number one, we, the organic human being, used to live outside. We lived, once upon a time, outside. Before we build modern homes and all of the modern amenities that we have today, we lived out of doors. We ate and lived off the land. Now, ever since the Industrial Revolution, everything became chemical. The soaps, the perfumes, the lotions, the colognes, the bubble bath, it's a chemical. We put it on our bodies. Did you know your body absorbs things? The food we eat, most of it is processed, made to stay on the shelf weeks, months, and even years by artificially inserting chemicals as preservatives to keep it on the shelf so it can be sold. Fast food restaurants are putting chemicals and have been putting chemicals in our food that make us want to go back and eat it again. MSG, I'm sure you've heard of it. Monosodium glutamate. It is a flavor enhancer and it's cancerous. Aspartame, artificial sugars and sweeteners. They're chemicals. They're killing us. Okay? Now, you don't have to die the same day that you ingest this because, as some of the scientists might say, it's done in parts per billions, such as in our water system. In our water, our tap water, that is, we have fluoride, which is toxic. We have parasites still in our water. We have lead. We have arsenic. And the list of pollutants and poisons go on that's in our regular municipal drinking water. So what does man do? Man puts chlorine, which is another chemical that is toxic. He puts it in there to try to kill the other chemicals. And then the parasites and the bacteria, many of them have become immune to the chemicals. But still, it's done in so many billions of parts per whatever as it relates to the water. And it's not going to kill you instantly, but over time, it manifests itself in our bodies as disease and cancer. That's just scratching the surface. We are not eating naturally anymore as a whole group of people. I'm not talking about those small percentages that are into health, vegans and vegans and vegetarians and other people who live a homeopathic lifestyle. But the vast majority of us Americans and even people on the planet are not living healthy. So we've been subjected to the possibility of acquiring diseases and cancers as a result of not eating naturally like the animals in nature do. We don't live naturally and we don't eat naturally. We don't take care of ourselves naturally anymore. We have left it up to industry to poison us. Now, the other thing I'm getting at is this, is industry. You say, if all of this is true, then maybe I can start doing something to change my situation. But let me get more direct to the point. Get directly to the point of cancer. Cancer is a business. That's what I'm getting at. Hospitals don't want you to be healed because you are a customer. And you pay for being sick. Now that goes even beyond cancer, just in general. We pay to be sick. And we pay them to keep us sick. the doctors and the hospitals and the nurses and so on and so forth. The people on the lower echelon, most of them don't even know what's going on. But the people in charge who have the power, the administrators, the directors of the medical facilities, and of course the doctors, know the truth. The doctors are taught preventative medicine. They are not taught to heal us, my friends. If the majority of the people that walk into the emergency room and that are admitted into the hospital for a condition or a cancer or a disease, if they are healed, many people lose jobs, to include the doctors, the nurses, the directors. The facilities close down because it has become big business. It's not the only one that I'm alluding to, but there's many other companies in other different vectors, if you will. But we're talking about the medical industry. The insurance companies don't want you to be healed because you're worth money to them. They don't care about your life. Why is it that as long as we've known about cancer being in existence, there's still no cure? The numbers are basically still the same over the past 50 to 80 or 100 years. The numbers of cancer victims are about the same. No headway. It's constantly touted. We're reaching remarkable heights in our research. Keep pouring the research dollars in, though. Excuse me, I apologize for stumbling over my words. It's kind of sensitive to me, the subject, because I've had many friends and family dear to me that have died as a result. And when you start talking about this particular subject, people get tense. They get angry because many people have had loved ones and friends pass away as a result of cancer. And we don't want to believe that the industry is crooked. We don't want to believe that the industry doesn't want us healed. You do the research, you do the study, and you'll find out something that you don't want to believe and that you don't want to accept. And maybe you will acquiesce, you'll step back and say, oh my goodness, I am torn. I can't believe that a business, a corporation, an industry that claims to be about healing people, and they really are not about healing, but about maintaining you. You, unless you have a terminal illness and you need a doctor, that's understood. But most of us don't have to have a doctor from the day that we're born to the day we die. Have you ever thought about why you have a doctor that long? Why do you have to continue to go to a hospital from the day that you come out of your mother's womb until the day that you die? We constantly are paying for being sick. Let me check on my heart. Let me check on my liver. Let me check on my diabetes. Let me check on my cancer. Let me check on this disease and that headache for 30, 40, 50 years. And you can't heal me, but you can send rocket ships to another planet. You can look at the solar systems through a microscope. You can create a cell phone that can reach from the United States of America all the way to Indonesia, Pakistan, and talk to someone in real time. You can Skype a person that distance as well. All of these breakthroughs technologically, you haven't healed cancer yet. You haven't come to a conclusion as to what the remedy is for cancer. Whatever happened to when I was in school, we had something called the scientific method. You had the problem, then you had the process to solving that problem. So you found out what caused the problem and you go to the root of what causes the problem and not give the person a mask. You see, when you have a headache and you go to the doctor, let's say you're in the waiting room and you're there for 1 hour waiting. You filled out your insurance information just to make sure that they can get paid. The staff, the doctor, the hospital, radiology if you need a x-ray done. You've done the paperwork. You see the doctor 5 or 10 minutes. That's usually it. 5 or 10 minutes. He goes, brings back a prescription for Tylenol. He didn't get to what the origin of your issue is. Call me if it gets worse. Call me if it doesn't go away. Call me if the medicine doesn't work and I prescribe something stronger. He's covering up the issue. And I use the headache as an example, but they do that with everything. Let me write you a prescription. So what happens with the prescription? They sell the drug that the pharmaceutical company has created. They sell the drug to you. Your insurance company foots the bill. Your medical insurance company foots the bill. Medicaid, Medicare foots the bill. The government foots the bill. Whatever the case is, or you personally pay for the bill, but the bill gets paid for. I waited an hour at the hospital. I saw the doctor for 10 minutes. And a couple weeks later, I received a bill that 1 hour visit cost me $700-800. Now, a lot of times, if you're not paying directly out of your pocket and your medical insurance company is paying, you kind of slough it off. Immaterial to you. But do you get the point? That much money in 1 hour has been directed to someone else. And that's just a minor issue, the headache. What about having brain surgery, heart surgery, invasive surgery where they have to cut you open, remove an organ, or perform surgery on an organ, or cut out a bone or section of bone and replace it? What about that? The price ticket gets higher. What if it's cervical cancer and they have to cut your uterus out if you're female? The price list goes up. What if it's abortion and a female, young, middle age or older, has to have that baby aborted by her choice in most cases? That price ticket is up. And you know what? That's cash money for the doctors that perform abortion, because that's all they accept is cash on the day that they perform that particular procedure. And they go party with the money or do whatever they want to do with the money. What are you getting at, brother teacher? I'm getting at this again. It's all about the money. Haven't you woke up yet? So, in this snippet, I want you to pay attention. And I want you to consider, do you want to hear the truth and nothing but the truth? And this is about cancer. Like this video if you like. Comment if you like. So long.